Yes, people, welcome back to Chelsea Perspective. Welcome back to another Chelsea Football Club Transfer Watch. Again, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I wholeheartedly offer whatever suits your time zone on behalf of I and my co-host, Louisa. Today, again, as usual, we have quite a lot to talk about because as things develop, things we talked about in the morning do change. So there's always the need to update you guys on what's going on. Right now, we'll talk about Sterling, we'll talk about Ronaldo, so to speak. We'll talk about Neymar, and we'll talk about the developments that Juve are talking with Bayern regarding the lead of which we heard a few days ago, and even this morning. We are going to sign him. So sit back, relax, and let's get into the show. Yes, people, once again, welcome back to Chelsea Transfer Watch on Chelsea Perspective. And again, I have with me already my co-host, Louisa. Louisa, how are you doing today?
I'm fine, coach, and you?
Brilliant. I can't complain. You seem to be in high spirit. It doesn't look like anything you're concerned about anything, but that's okay. I think I am the same too, just a little bit tired, but I wanted to start this one off with you. Again, as usual, let me say, I said, this is the culture here on Chelsea Perspective. I will start by going up. We'll start by going through what we have in the chat already, again, because it's usually interactive, inclusive here on Chelsea Perspective, but more importantly, objective. Now we have True Blue, who's always talked about, he's always argued that the money will come. And he says that Christensen, come from Barcelona, let me be specific there. He says Christensen and KCA both assigned 4-year deals, again, 430 million buyout clause on each. No money, headstand. Again, that's interesting. And I'm going to highlight that because it's worth talking about. They don't have money. And again, I think they being greedy too. Should I say just they being just greedy or just it's not good. Why would you put such amount of buyout clause on on a contract on a player, both of which they're signing them both for free, right? Or it's just let's just talk about Andreas Christensen. We know they're getting them on a free. Why would you put that as such a large amount of money as a buyout clause? So they're not sure of their future. So they want to make sure the players stay with them for quite some time because they're not sure about how they're going to keep paying them for a while. But we'll see what happens. And here, Arthur Lowe says, Bayern Munich are reportedly in full negotiations with Juventus over a move for De Ligt, according to Sky Germany, which makes me wonder how long we will wait to make the signing. Again, we will not, again, there's a chance these clubs engineer these stories to get us to pay the money because there's no way to tell whether De Ligt, something I read a few minutes ago, is that De Ligt says he wants to join a Bayern. They told him he wants to join them. Again, we'll get back to this comment also. I will highlight that. And here, Glenn, how are you? It's been a minute. We didn't see you during the Blue Morning Show. I hope you're doing well. And I sincerely do hope things are well with you. But nice to see you here. And maybe you're probably at work. And Glenn says Bayern wouldn't pay that much money. I think that's the truth. I think they usually reluctant to pay that much money for any player. Big up, Glenn. Nice to see you again. Lamlin said hi, Kachila and Louise. Hi, Louisa. Hi to you too, Lamlin. I hope you're doing well. Capo TV says, good show last night. Enjoyed coming on. Capo, nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. How have you been? Nice to see you again. A big up from Uganda, Jerry Bilkup. It's been a minute. I haven't seen you in a while. I sincerely do hope you're doing well. So, Louisa, let's start with this comment here. This first one here. Your thoughts on that, because it says 430 million buyout clause on each. What does that tell you about Barcelona?
It just really, the way they are making their moves right now is really just exposing them up as to how they really are in an economical mess right now. Because if you think about it, two players like Kessie and Christensen, I don't think they have I don't know. Why would you put a buyout clause of 430 million? And I'm just seeing 430
a single
million.
Player.
What I initially saw was 500 million on Christensen alone. So even at 400 million, that's such a huge buyout. And it shows how they don't really have any economical ground to stand on right now. Because if you think about it, a player like Christensen, it wasn't solid for us when we went all out for him. Then now he's going to a club like Barca, and Barca is putting such a huge price tag on him. That's why at the end of the day they are not able to get rid of such players, because we offered Christensen more than what Barca is going to pay financially. And
but to be fair, he gets sign-on fee.
But that's what. Yeah, but here's the thing: he let Barca put such a huge price on him. It's tied down to them for the next 4 years. No matter what happens.
Probably don't want the shame of coming back to Chelsea or going somewhere else when it's already out there that he's going to Barca.
No. Like, you can go to Barca, but when you think about it, if you're putting that huge price on someone like Christensen, now I don't know, offense to him, but Christensen is nowhere worth paying. It doesn't even, first of all, it's basically a defender. It's nowhere worth that amount of money. No matter how inflation gets in the next 4 years, there's no way clubs are going to be shelling out more than 100 million, 150 million to buy defenders. And it put pen to paper for that deal that is going to effectively tie him down to Barca for 4 years, no matter what happens.
You can argue that both players are practically enslaved to Barca, because of 430 million as a buyout clause on a single player. So again, it makes me wonder what are they telling? What do Barca? What do they tell these players? Even though they know they're broke, it just doesn't make sense. Like I said when we started the show, it just seems as if they know they are in serious trouble. So that's the only way of tying down these players. If you're in the chat, please let us know about the news that Barca, or the rumors, because there's no way to tell if it is in fact the truth, that they have 430 million buyout clause on each of these two players, Frank Kessie and Christensen. To me, it's absolutely crazy. Go ahead.
I'm surprised. Like, who is advising these players that you put down your pen to sign a deal that effectively enslaves you? Because first of all, you need to reason it. Am I worth half this price? Will someone come calling for me and be willing to pay this price? We know inflation is going to affect the price of players in the future, but I don't see a world where in 4 years' time Christensen is going to be okay. Let's say 3 years, because the contract expires in 4 years. So if they are coming for Christensen this year, it's going to be 430. Let's say, okay, the value of the buyout clause reduces over time, because, okay, the contract is getting to the end. After 1 year, the thing reduces. After 2 years, the thing reduces. But even at the third year, there's no way that buyout clause would have reduced anywhere close to 100 million.
Yeah,
it's tied down to them.
Yeah, for the life of me,
and that's why players keep taking pay cuts, because you don't have anywhere to go. You are tied down to the club. It's either you take a pay cut or you say you are not playing, you want to sit on the bench, and because no club is coming for you, you are either a backup player or you are not playing for Barca. So it's just ridiculous. I don't know Barca executive, what they tell these players that they keep actually saying it's either Barca or nothing. I feel like the media is just making it look like Barca is the dream destination for everybody. And this Spanish club, they work well with their media to try and do paint whatever narrative they want the fans to believe. So I really don't know what was going through their heads. I don't know how they managed, whether they sneaked it in the fine print. That was how they managed to sneak in 500 million buyout clause, because you are stuck there. And Christensen is still a young player. By the time the 4 years is done, he could still get a bigger deal, but it might have just gone.
There's a chance after 4 years after 2 years actually he gets bored of the project and would want to leave, but then there won't be that possibility. This one here from Arthur Love says Bayern Munich are reportedly in full negotiations with Juventus over a move for De Ligt, according to Sky Germany, which makes me wonder how long we'll wait to make the signing. Again, like I've alluded to before, we can't just pay the club the money they're asking, because we're hearing that he says he's promised Bayern that he wants to join them, or because we're hearing that Bayern are in full negotiations with them. There's a chance. Italians also are known to make good use of their media, unlike the English media that is well regulated. You don't just say whatever you like in most cases, though, but there are things they do, they do get away with it, but at least they're ethical to an acceptable measure. But my argument here is that I don't believe in this, even if it is in fact the truth. If you read what Glenn said already, is it Glenn or Lamlane? Let's say something like Bayern aren't willing to pay that much money, and I don't know what universe it will be that we're in for you to say, okay, because the player says he wants to go to Bayern, okay, give us 60 million. When there's that possibility for them to make extra 20 or 10 million from Chelsea Football Club. So that just doesn't make sense to me. Remember a few days ago, we also heard that De Ligt says he wants to come to Chelsea. He's spoken to Thomas Tuchel, and he really wants to come to England and all that stuff. So to me, it's absolute nonsense. But you go ahead, give me your thoughts on that one. But before you go do that, we have 35 people watching, 38 people watching right now, and we have just 18 likes. So if you haven't, please take a second to like the video, and also please do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And what I will tell you, what I've always said to all our followers, we're family here. Your support, watching the video, being in the chat, even when you watch and not commenting, those things do go a long way for the channel. You don't even have to donate. I'd rather you like the video to help us reach more people, because the more you like the video, the more the YouTube algorithm will be triggered, the more people will be able to reach, and the more fun it will be for us here. And again, you don't have to donate, just like the video and help us reach more people. And please do, if you have time, share the stream on whatever social media platforms where you have presence to help us reach more people. You go ahead, Louisa.
Yeah, this Bayern to De Ligt to Bayern situation was kind of funny, because it's only when it came out that Bayern are trying to negotiate for him that we started hearing that De Ligt promised Bayern to come, and it just feels like everything is just working against Chelsea in this particular transfer window. But here's the thing. We know historically this Bayern situation is almost similar to the Afina situation with Barca. Bayern does not pay for talent, because the entire Bundesliga is basically their academy, from Dortmund to.
What a way to put it. Go ahead.
The other clubs in Germany are Bayern's academy. That's why they don't know how to pay for players, even though they do have the money. They rarely pay for players because they have the talent pool. Is the dream destination for almost every German in that area. So when you think about it, I don't think Bayern is going to come close to 80, which is around the price, which they are trying to get in for 75 Juve are trying to offload him for around 75, 80. Bayern is not going to exceed something like maybe even 50, which Chelsea has already exceeded.
It's something. Go ahead.
Yeah, which Chelsea has already exceeded. The only thing that is making, I don't think, I feel like on one hand, you can say, okay, Chelsea fans are panicking. On the other hand, they are like, it's not really time for us to panic yet because we are offering the money for these players according to what we are hearing. It's these players that are either slowing it down or the clubs. It's not even the clubs now because now the clubs are willing to sell. The players are the ones that are not budging to come, or maybe because our club changed its modus operandi in the middle of the transfer season. It now looks like, okay, the players we targeted before, we've lost interest in them because the people that wanted them were no longer on the board. Now we are going for a new set of players who had already agreed in principle with other clubs, which is where we're finding it difficult. So we're going into a market where people have already done maybe handshakes, like in the Afina deny. It looks like we are the ones hijacking Afina from Barca and offering Leeds. We're offering Leeds what they want, but Afina has already agreed verbally with Barca that okay, it's coming here. So it's it's just like we went into the market with one owner, and while we are shopping, we changed owners, and now our taste has changed. So when you think about it, maybe De Ligt ends up going to Bayern. We should just take it with a grain of salt that it's not necessarily that we're not signing these players. It's what is happening. But I don't think De Ligt is going to end up at Bayern, because except Bayern breaks their code and just ends up signing De Ligt just because they wanted him at that moment. But I feel like Bayern would rather wait to sign him and maybe convince him to stay at Juve longer so that they'll sign him. But they are not going to sign him for that amount that Chelsea have already even put on.
I don't think that will happen. I don't think that will happen because the player himself, from what we're hearing, is already itching to leave Juve. But we'll see what happens. And here, Glenn says, all good, coach. I have a late shift this week, so I was still snoozing like Chelsea on the transfer market. If it doesn't end that way, I will ask you your ID, Glenn. Glenn. Nice to see you again, people. 23 likes. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'd be ungrateful not to thank you for that. You guys are absolute legend. But right now we have 61 people watching, so we can do better than 23 likes. Please keep liking the video to help us reach more people. Capo TV says, is this closed a panel, or can we comment? As an Arsenal fan, I would love to share my opinion. Again, I'd like to get a neutral opinion, but I can't not share the link to the panel in the chat. Reach out to me via Twitter or Instagram, and I'll send you the link. And I just want to confirm that you're a human being, because I've witnessed some nonsense happened to my fellow content creators, and that's why I stopped sharing links in the chat. I don't want to risk it at all. After all the efforts from the panelists and from all the people that are supporting the channel, we don't want somebody to come here and show stuff that the Google community forbids and get the channel shut down. So yeah, again, Ty Talk says, hi, coach. I may get to join a show after all. Yeah, bro. And again, I hope what you went for went well. Again, your priorities first, because this is not non-paid, you could say, you could call it an exercise or endeavor. Maybe we just love to do it. Again, as panelists also, it is free. It's pro bono. If you like, send us the link, bro. I'm not going to send the link in the chat. I hope you understand now. I don't know how to explain what I explained to you. And here is Mikhail again with his trouble. He says, who didn't we sign today? All our targets. We haven't signed all our targets.
We didn't sign Nathan. We didn't sign De Ligt. We didn't sign Koulibaly. We didn't sign Kounde. We didn't sign Ronaldo. We didn't sign Neymar. The list goes on and on and on.
Yeah, we haven't signed all our targets. We haven't signed Rafinha to, all of them. Start counting them. And by the way, we were actually linked with Frank Cassier at one point. So I'm surprised again. So you should count them in actually. So, but that's by the way again. But I'm not concerned yet. Again, even I think we're still getting players, and I feel like I've told you in private, my brother. I think it will still be a good window for us because the new owners they understand the importance, of starting very well, and this is an opportunity for them to show what they want to do. I'm already, truthfully, I am concerned that they may well go for such name as Ronaldo or Neymar because they want to make the club even more commercially viable. But we'll see what they do with that. Choma yourself one says, "Good day, everyone. Good day to you too. I hope you're doing well. Did I miss you? Were you here during the Blue Morning Show? We had a brilliant debate, but I don't know if you missed it or maybe I didn't see you. But I hope you're doing well. Mikhail say, yeah, buyout clauses are mandated by La Liga apparently, and it's normal practice. And yes, it is predatory. It is indeed. That's the. I think I've been searching for the better word to, you know, qualify it. I use that is enslavement, but I think you could say yes. To some measure, it is enslavement because 430 million for a single player, not even Ronaldo, not even Lionel Messi, not even the players in questions, none of them is Neymar. These are players you could say on the very good day and even close to
How
being
much
world
is
class, if you
Mbappe? Does
ask me.
Mbappe have a buyout clause? How much is his buyout clause on his new deal?
I'm not sure if he has. But here's why this is ridiculous. There's what I'm sensing from this. What I'm sensing from it really is Barca wants to be they want to be sure of their future because the financial issues that they're going through right now. Yes, there's a workaround. They sell stuff, they make money, TV rights, and all that, but they're not going to be able to get out of debt for a few years. And there's a chance in 2 years again we'll start hearing they don't have money. So with this buyout clause, it makes it difficult for these players to leave. And if this is in fact, if this is the truth, what on earth? That is what sort of lawyers do they have around them when they was putting pen to paper for this contract? Because it is ridiculous. But we're not here to talk about that anyway. It is their business. It
Christensen is
is
his
their
father
own
that
cup
is
of
his
tea.
business manager.
Yeah, yeah, it is their cup of tea, and I don't want to sip of it. Let them enjoy it. Mikhail says, "Big up, everyone. Big up to you too, Mikhail. Nice to see you here. I know how busy you are, and I'm sure you'll be able to join because it is an evening show. Again, thank you very much, bro. Always good to have you around. And again, like I said before, if you see the naked whatever comment, if you time them out, then I will not be able to block them permanently from the channel, that particular account. But just leave it for a few like a minute or just a minute. I'd be able to see it and then block them from my end, and then it will be permanent. Again, we have 82 people watching, and we still have just 29 likes. We can do better than that. So keep liking the video. Again, I appreciate all the likes. Already we're at 29 likes, but I know we can do better than that. Mikhail says it's predatory. It is a business practice. It is indeed that. Shame on players for agreeing to such nonsense. That's the question Louisa asked. How did they agree to sign that? But that's, by the way, Glenn, thank you, bro. And here says it's a scandalous. Again, I mean, you could come up with so many names. What it is indeed, it's crazy. I just don't know. But hopefully it's not the truth because even though I don't want Barca to sign players that we're looking to sign, I don't want them to have money enough to compete with us in the market. I still don't want to hear such situation if it is the truth. It is really concerning. All good, mate. I hope you're again just saying hello to each other there. I hope I've blocked this one. Let me see. If somebody already did, okay, yeah, somebody already did, so I can't block them. Okay, sure, bro. I will send you a message. I'm trying to grow my channel. I started my channel and have got a 3.5K in 3 months. So I'd love to comment and share my opinion. 3.5K in 3 months, that's magical. That's huge. It took some people a year. It took me nearly a year plus, I think. Yeah, a year plus to get out to 1,000. But after that, again, it's been up. It's been the growth has been continuous and steady. But yeah, I get your point. I'd really like to collab with you, like I told you the other day when I saw your opinions in the chat. Chelsea, Ike Icy says Chelsea should sign me. I love the club. Yeah, I get the joke, and it's really funny now, but I really understand. Again, let me see. I think I will skip a few. Prince Edwin Joseph says, Good evening, everyone. Good evening to you too. I sincerely do hope you're doing well. You should have commented last night when I was on the channel. Oh, okay. Again, let's say what's going on? Chelsea not signed anyone yet. Again, somebody in the chat maybe have an answer for you. So, Louise, I'm coming back to you. Your thoughts on that? Your final thoughts on the Frank Kessié and what's his name again? Andreas Christensen. Agreeing to such an amount as a buyout clause in on their contracts after him playing acting all smart when negotiating with Chelsea Football Club, moving the goalposts like 3 times, and he put pen to paper for such. So that's why I still have a little bit of doubt in me that that's a chance it's all nonsense. But you go ahead, your final thoughts on that, so we can move on to the next topic.
Yeah, but mostly what we've seen over the years is that mostly when fake news come from the Spanish camp, it's usually them trying to like put something into the football space to try and maybe create an outcome to their own benefit. But I'm struggling to see how telling the world that there's a buyout clause of 500 million or 430 million on Christensen and Kessie without there actually being a buyout clause. I'm struggling to see how that benefits them. On one hand, you could say it was short-sightedness on the players' part, or maybe thinking they would have such an amazing time in Barcelona, in Spain for 4 years that they don't think that they are going to want to live in the next 4 years. That's all fine and good for them. But on the other hand, it's like, is Barca doing this to like ensure their future? Because they can actually force a steal. Maybe by the time a club comes in, because they want to be done with the player at year 3, instead of losing a player for maybe like 20 million or 10 million, like we are going to be losing Jorginho or Alonso if we do go through with a sale. They want to be losing them for like maybe 50 million, 60 million at that 3rd year when the contract is already close to expiring. It could be a business. It could be a business strategy on their part to try and still make money from players, even though the players have 1 year on their contract, which should maybe cost like 10 to 20 million in the transfer market, but they'll probably be getting like 60 to 80 million if clubs do come to call for those players at that point. It's just an insurance for their future. It makes sense. It makes sense for Barca to have that kind of deal. But what I'm still struggling to see is why the player signed that deal. I don't know what they had.
Especially your cousin Andreas Christensen, who was playing all smart for Chelsea Football Club. Again, if that's if it is the truth, how possible? Why did he do that? Let me get Ty's thoughts, and we'll move on to the next topic. Ty, I'm sure. Sorry, I forgot you were here. I would have come to you straight away after reading the comments in the chat. Ty, you just heard your Barca announced your elder brother, Andreas Christensen, as the new signing, and we're hearing that they have, 430 million as a buyout clause. How smart is your brother? And like, give me your thoughts on that contract, by the way.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, crystal clear. But I think you may need to get a bit closer to your microphone.
Is it better now?
Better, yeah. Tell us what you think about your brother Andreas Christensen signing with Barca, and the buyout clause is around 430 million, and he signed it.
In this case, I'd rather, probably disown him as my brother. Honestly, I probably would, because I don't know. I don't think that was a very smart move to me. I mean, I've been listening to what you guys were saying about with it, and the point that I just heard, it's something that it seems as it could be one of the most likely reasons. I mean, I think it's short term thinking, because I mean, there's no certainty that you'll go to Barcelona and that your plan, being successful there will happen, and then you're speaking about 3 years. What if they after the season ends, they want to say that, I haven't really gotten experience I was expecting. They found themselves stuck in a position where they're not able to get a move, or a realistic move, because considering the fact that, I mean, if it's true, it's a case where they whatever club they want, they come for them. They'd have to expect that they spend more than 100 million for them, and probably even close to 200 or 300. So that is something that, in that sense, it really does look like a short-term thinking from the player. I just really don't understand why a player would end up doing this. I really don't understand. I mean, it sounds mad. I mean, it's not as bad as what's his name? I think not Pedri. There's somebody at Barcelona that I think their release clause is 1 billion. So I mean, I think it's not that bad, but I mean,
Holy tamale!
it just 1 billion, not 1 million, 1 billion, billion. So I mean, it just shows how crazy things are at Barcelona, and I mean, in that sense, it gives them assurance that even in a case where the player wants to leave, they have some level of assurance, even though I don't think any club is going to come in and spend more than 100
even if
million.
they find themselves in the most dire financial situations, they still be able to keep those players, because nobody will be able to buy them. Which means even if they're not able to pay them their salary, no club will be able to buy them. So again, but Ty, another question I want to ask is this quickly: why is this allowed? Because Barca, they are in a serious dire financial situation, and they ruin it for everyone else. They ruin it for every other club, because that. Believe it or not, these things they are doing, the 1 billion buyer clause, 430. I think that will, in one way or the other, affect the market, because they have some good players. Go ahead, Tyrando, so we can talk about someone else, because I'm getting beast. I just don't understand how FIFA can even. I think there should be a cap at this moment to help control how crazy, the amount of money we're hearing for players in the market. How much it's become. Go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't know why it's really allowed by La Liga itself and FIFA and it would be FIFA though, or I don't even know which one it would be. Honestly, I think they whatever organization is responsible.
Okay, let's start from UEFA. Why that they allowing such? Go ahead.
Yeah. I really don't understand why they would allow this to be happening, because it's dangerous. I mean, even though it's your player, you want to have assurance that even if they're doing good and they want to move at it and they've lost interest in playing at the club, you may want that. But that is extravagant. If it was 200 million, I would understand, but that's a lot.
Yeah, it is too much. Again, thank you very much, Ty, for that great input. Right now, we have 100 people watching. We had 109 before, but 97 now, again, on YouTube. But on my end, I'm seeing 100, and we have just 38 likes. People, we can do better than that. If you haven't, take a second to like the video. If anybody asks you to pay, tell them that Just Viola had already paid for you. She's the queen of Chelsea perspective. Again, please do like the video. Here we have Almighty Blue Sports Plus, my brother from another mother. If you haven't, take a second to go check out his YouTube channel. He has two YouTube channels. One is called Almighty Blues CFC and Almighty Sports Plus. Go check him out, and please do subscribe. And if you do, let him know I sent you. Here, the queen of the house say, hey, Kachila, hey to you too. I know you should be sleeping now, but I'm glad you found time to be with us here. Always nice to have you around whenever you can. Glenn, again. Glenn says, I legit hope Barcelona loses to Espanyol twice and don't qualify for European football. Again, it's not about signing all these players, and it remains to be seen how well what's his name Xavi, right? That's the coach. How well he would do with that team. I don't wish him bad again because I liked him as a player, but again, because of what his club is doing, anyway, let me just shut up. I don't know what to say. But Glenn, I get it. Hello, everyone. Says just Viola and Glenn. I big up Almighty Sports Plus. Again, people just saying hello to each other. No single signing yet. Noise makers. Very unfortunate. Again, Al-Khali Mohammed Shahuri, calm down. And remember, I told you that I think we will be all right. Again, I have every reason to be concerned as much as you are right now, but I am calm. I do believe we'll be all right. We'll have a good window, and I prefer us, being a strategic in our spending, or rather than just throw money at the problem, and then we'll be the first to start saying that was a panic buy, because you could argue majority of Chelsea fans after the signing of Lukaku were rejoicing. They thought, yeah, we got our man, especially after the first game he played for us, and then later on, even his most you could go argue ardent supporters turned against him. So let's spend wisely again. But the only thing I advise you to do is temper your expectations for next season. Temper it with should I say? No, not you. Patience again. Patience here because you be able to endure whatever we're able to achieve next season. We will make it to the top four. Am I sure we're going to win a lot of trophies or get to as many finals as we did this past season? I don't know. It depends on how many changes we make and how many players we sign. Again, let me see anything else. Thanks, Glenn. Again, he's just saying hi to the people there. Big up. And then again, a big up to my sister and her good friend, Miss Elano. Big up to you all. And please be sure to go check out our YouTube channel, Miss Elano YouTube channel again. But more importantly, please, if you're in the chat, just take a second to tell Miss Elano that we love her. We cherish her, that whatever she's going through, she should just remember she has a people in the Chelsea community who love her so much, and we will continue to support her. And if you can, let her know if she can reach you, if she needs somebody to talk with. And believe me, we deep down do care because you're one of us. And nice to see that you're back. And Just Viola says big up. And this is Capo TV saying, okay, just hello to Just Viola. I think I'm jealous now. It looks like everybody loves Just Viola more than they do love me. And I don't know why, but that's okay. Abdullah Mohammed says, I'm so disappointed to see Chelsea not signing anybody. Again, I'm going to repeat myself. Calm down. Calm down, Abdullah. We will be all right. And remember, Kuchila told you that, okay? And before I continue, please, if you haven't, take a second to like the video. We have 105 people watching and just 45 likes. Let's try and get it to 100 likes by the time we get to the 50th minute into the show. Please, we can do that. Thank you very much for that. Hi, Kachila and the panel. Gunplay the gamer, my brother. Nice to see you here. I appreciate all the support. And then Mr. Lana says, I've missed much of the transfer news. I've been trying to catch up. But more importantly, you're alive. And we love you. That's the most important thing. Even if we don't sign any player, the most important thing for us is that you haven't left us to sign for any other club. You're still with us, Mr. Lano, and we love you. Would like to keep you. So that's the most important thing. Again, says, we are not as serious as a football club. Oh my gosh. How am I going to deal with this? Just remember again.
I responded to something similar to this on Twitter,
Yeah.
Because people are saying that
maybe respond to this one. Respond to this one. Go ahead.
Yeah, because come on, man. People want us to. I keep expressing this. The reason why it's not as easy to get in players that we want is for three reasons. Number one, the parent clubs are making it difficult to negotiate with some of those players. De Ligt, for example, De Ligt is worth 100 million at one point, and then the next minute he's worth 90 million. Then the next minute he goes back to 100. And then the second point is that clubs are in for them, and those clubs are also appealing to them. And the third reason is that it's not easy to just bring in players.
And Louisa, if you remember, I want you to help answer this question even further, because Ty has to take care of something there. I understand, family first. If you remember, we were under restrictions that were designed, that to stop us from signing players. We were allowed to talk to players, but we were not allowed to get them to put pen to paper and say, okay, we've wrapped up this one now. This player is now a Chelsea Football Club. That on its own is a huge setback. Plus, you could argue at the point where other clubs were busy talking to players, trying to get them to sign for them, our priorities then were to make sure we didn't go down. We survived the sanctions on our owner. We survived the restrictions on us, which, in fact, at one point, I think if we're not able to renew the license, would have been gone into financial administration. So those were bigger concerns then. I don't know why people aren't considering those factors now that they talk about the transfer. So you go ahead. I think elaborating that, maybe our brother here, Mikhail, will learn from it.
Yeah, especially when you are talking about us not being a serious club, you think about it. The Apina deal now came in when we are talking about he's supposed to sign for Barca, The news coming out is that Barca had an agreement with Barca in January, as early as January. At around February, we're already getting into these sanctions and all. We were not speaking to anybody. We were just even Thomas had to give an interview where it was like, if it gets to a point, if I have to ride the team on a bus to Paris, we would do that.
Exactly. And that highlights what we were going through then. I, as an individual, suffered. Lots of Chelsea fans suffered. At one point, again, my whole family, they noticed that something isn't quite right with me. The day the whole conundrum started, I couldn't hold myself. I cried here. I had to turn off the camera. That's how broken I was then. Then think about those that work for the club, whom I think at one point they stopped paying them or so. The shop closed and all that. I don't know, but go ahead. Sorry for cutting you off.
We lost some of the staff that are not directly related to football. Even I remember on the ladies' side, we did lose our social media and graphics design. So we did lose a lot of things. Signing players or scouting players were not even at the top of the list then. Then now it's coming out that Kounde was a Marina. Kounde was a Marina and Czech a Marina and Czech decision, not necessarily a Thomas decision. So you kind of see the turnaround during the transfer window. We were already making plans before for people like Kounde and Rice. We were making plans to recruit some players even before the sanction. But those players, we were recruiting them with the philosophy of Czech, with the philosophy of Marina, not necessarily what Thomas had in mind. And now you can kind of see that, Todd has these players that he is interested in, but he's only going to bring in players that Thomas is interested in, which made, when you're kind of going to the market that, you want to buy this particular thing, but mid-shopping, you are like, we're changing plans. Everything is changing again. That's what is happening right now. What the target we set for this summer window before are no longer the target we are going to have. You even hear the Lukaku's deal set that Czech and Marina wanted to give him one more season. Now we are going to find a replacement for Lukaku now that he has gone out on a loan. That is another different player than we are now going to start scouting afresh, because there was no plan to replace. There was probably no plan to replace Lukaku before. And if you see the Bra dinner, and maybe the Bra was meant to either go on loan or to be sold before, it might completely change. We might end up having to keep him and use him now that Lukaku is out. I feel like we're starting from scratch for every single thing, every single deal that is put in place, because maybe with Sheikh and Marina in now, maybe someone like Ziyech would not be considering loaning someone like Ziyech out, even though it's not part of the manager's plan, because we know that if the manager is not going to work with the ingredients he has, he's going to get sacked. Now it feels like, okay, Todd is definitely backing the manager, so he's going to cut out any player that is not fit that does not fit into Thomas' plan.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting a completely different. Getting a completely different team. We don't have a director of football. People are complaining. People wanted us to trust the manager because he came in 6 months' time. He gave us a Champions League, which is one of the most prestigious trophy. So you do want to trust a manager like that, and I feel like this is a job for them. It's a job for Chelsea. You want to put yourself in the best position to succeed. So there's no way we're not going to get things done at the end of the day. The only concern we would have is that we might end up having to pay more than the players are worth. We might end up having to offer them more to convince them to come to our side over another club that probably had agreement with them even while we were in sanctions. Those are the only things that should be bothering us right now, because it's a business. There's no way Thomas is going to go into the season with the players he has. He already knows that something is lacking. I feel like if we do go into the season with the players we have, I feel like everyone in the chat, I should get everyone in the chat a JC, because it's practically impossible for us to go into the season with what we have, because first of all, we're probably losing someone like Ziyech if the rumors are true. We'll probably even we're losing Kennedy that came in, and I don't even think the Kennedy played any single minutes after he came back on loan in January.
Yeah, I think he did a cup game, but I can't remember.
Yeah, he played the last game too. He played the last game.
He played the last game, you said, Ty?
Yeah, he did, and he did well.
But he came in January and ended up playing like 2 or 3 games. It's probably not part of Thomas' plan, if that's what Thomas did with him, except maybe Thomas wants to see whether he magically turns into a whole new player during the preseason, which is not possible. Yeah. So we're definitely bringing in players. The only issues we should be concerned about is that let's not overpay or overpromise them a salary that will maybe destroy our wage bill or something like that. That's the only issue.
The truth remains. The truth remains that our wage structure is already everywhere. So if we do that, it gets worse. Thank you for that brilliant input right there. Again, we have 103 people watching, and we have just 56 likes. I know we can do better than that. If you haven't, please take a second to like the video, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't, to help us, reach more people, and also to help the channel grow. We're approaching 4,000 subscribers. Right now, we're at 3,428 subscribers. I know we'll get there in a few days, and thanks to you guys for the super support. So keep liking the video. Let's get it to 100 before we get to the 1 hour mark into the show. And just you all here said the Chelsea fan base is totally divided. Again, with the Ronaldo links, the Neymar links to someone, Neymar, someone, Ronaldo. And again, we'll come back to that. Here, Spencer says, hello, guys. Hello to you too, Spencer. I think this is your first time here. Please, if you haven't, do take a minute to subscribe to the channel and also like the video. And again, just says, really happy that we managed to get Gabriel Jesus over the line. Excellent business. It is excellent business indeed. We'll see how it does for you guys. I wish him well. He's a fine player, and I thought we were going to sign him, but maybe Thomas Tuchel would prefer having Raheem Sterling rather than Gabriel Jesus for a reason that we don't know. Again, yes, some love for Miss Alano. Yes, again, if you haven't, show her some love. Show her that we do love her. Ronaldo and Neymar, I will admit, have me confused also. At one point, I want a Neymar, another, I want a Ronaldinho, a finishing power. Again, this same argument we had before we signed Romelu Lukaku. If you allow me, let me just take us back a bit quickly. With again, hope I'll be able to do that in 30 seconds. Now, if you paid attention, we created quite a lot of chances before we signed Lukaku. But the issue we had was putting away the chances. And then somebody looked at it. Somebody, maybe the scout, said, okay, we need a finisher. But the chances we were missing were by different individuals, not just by a single person. But usually we were able to point out Timo Werner because you can argue he's the number 9 we had then. Again, we forgot there are all other people also that missed open net, like Nigerians would say. And again, another problem we had is that we play as a unit when we defend. But when we get to the final third, everybody wants to be the hero or the scorer, and that made it worse. Now, and somebody looked at it saying, getting appointment, getting somebody who would become a reference for us when we want to score goals will solve the problem, forgetting that now you're focusing on just a single individual being the scorer, forgetting that lessens how many goals we'll be able to score, something like that. And again, when Lukaku came, whenever he's on the pitch, I think I've said this like 1 quadrillion times, if you like. Whenever Lukaku is on the pitch, whether by design or subconsciously, it just seemed as if the primary responsibility of those on the flanks, the midfielders, even the 2-6s, even the defenders, they all tried to find Lukaku. And when he got injured, it occurred to us that we're more fluid in the attacking area whenever he isn't playing, and we can score more goals whenever he isn't playing. I know, he's our top goal scorer this past season, but that doesn't tell the whole story. But that's, by the way, again, we'll talk about that. Why I say that is that we're starting to make the same argument for Ronaldo, fine finisher, forgetting that Ronaldo cannot press. If you remember, especially under Ole, most games he was usually a passenger, just standing around waiting for I don't know how to explain it. And Thomas Tuchel likes the front men to press. That's we defend from the front. So I don't know how that's going to work. Again, if they decide, if they put head together, Thomas Tuchel and Todd Boehly, and say they want the player, I can't. Who am I to blow against the wind? Again, I'll just move ahead from that one. I say I'll big up to y'all. I'll big up to you too. Anything else to read here? Marcellus Naswab said we need to sign players. Really, we need some silverware next season. Our owners need to make an impact signing, and I do believe they will make that. Miss Alana says, thank you so much. I really appreciate all the love and support. Yes, we do love you, and I'm glad you're here to see for yourself. Len says, you will have to name the Blue Morning Show to the Calm Down Show, Kachila. I think that's what it'd be, or maybe a therapy session, but that's a delicious comment. Yes, I think that's what it will be. It's more like a therapy session for most Chelsea fans because they come here to hear, Justin, I don't know if they intentionally, say negative stuff for you to help them, calm down. So I'm going to look again. If you have any question, put it in the chat there, and we will try to address it. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, said Nick Blue. And of course, thank you for showing some love to me. Now, I'm going to come back to the panel, Ty. Let me start with you. The Ronaldo to Chelsea rumors, it's gaining steam. It's gathering steam, if you prefer. And it's sounding, if you hear the reasons when people talk about it, it's sounding like, in fact, it's going to happen. Your thoughts?
Honestly, for me, I am not for it, but honestly, I really don't know if Tuchel is. I'm still trying to catch up with in terms of that news in particular because I was out and I really the first thing I checked was Twitter to see what was happening, and seeing that Ronaldo that apparently Chelsea are, and I remember seeing the ARE being capitalized. Chelsea are interested in Ronaldo. For me, I really don't see the point in it happening. I mean, people. For me, anybody else I spoke to is always using the fact that it's Ronaldo. You can't say no to Ronaldo. So to me, what I see is that sentiment. They're not looking at the effects that he could possibly come in and have. Yes, he could get some goals and maybe he could finish because that is something that he brings. He can score goals no matter where he goes. But at the same time, what impact will he have on the team overall? Yes, some people will say that, I'm playing with Ronaldo. I can't wait to play Ronaldo. But at the same time, we have heard the ego issue that he has. Yes, he has achieved a lot in his career. He has the right to be arrogant, but at the same time, you cannot be arrogant in a way where while you're being arrogant, you're bringing down somebody in the process. It's okay to be arrogant because a little bit of arrogance never hurts anyone, right? That's confidence, but it needs to be measured in the right way. And I'm not sure if Ronaldo's arrogance will be accepted by Tuchel, because we've seen that we've had one arrogant player in Lukaku who believes that he's better than players. And the only contrast to Lukaku and Ronaldo is the fact that one has actually achieved things that has been beneficial to the teams that he's been at, or most of the teams he's been at, and helped them to win silverware. But for me, I just don't see it ending well if it happens, because I think the way that Tuchel would instruct him to do things, I'm not sure if Ronaldo will be open to that. And yes, he moves. Yes, he press. Yes, he can get on at the end of crosses or passes made to him. But at the same time, it's pointless, to bring in a player if you're gonna be focusing mostly on that player.
Let me ask you the question this way. But before I do so, we have 150 people, 15 people watching, and we have 67 likes. The plan, let's get it to 100 likes before we get to the 1 hour mark into the show. Ty, quickly, do you see any positives? Because I had a serious debate. It was a good debate. Again, with the club we did in the morning. What are the positives you see? That he will bring to Chelsea if we sign him. That trumps maybe the troubles he will cause if he comes.
Honestly, the only positive I can see is that he brings goals. That's the only positive, because I don't really think there's anything else really that he can really bring that we're not getting. I mean, he can create sometime. Maybe he can create for his teammates, but the main thing that he's about is finishing and being clinical. So I think that is a positive. He can finish, and that's what I was saying. No matter where he goes, he still scores goals. I mean, Man United didn't really work out, but he still scored a lot of goals for them. He scored hat tricks.
That's undoubtedly one of the most pronounced positives we will bring. I'll come to Louisa in a bit. And Victor I here says, I understand our ban slowed things down. However, I am reluctant to give them a pass because we have seen this movie before, not once, not twice, but the movies you've seen, is it with the same actors? That's one thing I want you to explain. Any of them? Does any of them look like look like Todd Boehly to you? Let me know. So yeah, go ahead, Louisa. You wanted to say something?
Yeah, different directors. We have new directors now for this movie.
Yep, different directors, different actors. It's a new movie, and you don't judge a movie. Let's say we haven't even gotten. You can say 15 minutes into the movie. Let's get to the 30 minutes into the movie, or the end of the movie before you say maybe you could say you have the right to say this movie isn't a good one. But I get your argument, brother. And nice to see you here. Thank you for all the support. Again, saying hi, CFC. Hello, I see you. Big up, yeah, big up to you too again. Big up, Liam. Says just Viola. Maybe if you change your shirt color to red, there's always more than enough space for anyone. She's never going to do that. We have been talking about Sterling for weeks now. Okay, get it done. It's not that easy. If we start giving teams the money they want from us, or how that's the money they ask us to pay, other teams, they will sense desperation, and all the teams also will see that, and then we'll be spending probably all the money we have buying players. I think if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. If it doesn't happen, there's some good players out there, and I know Chelsea are capable of getting them. I don't think we should just be throwing money at the problems recklessly. We should spend, wisely. We should spend strategically, so that at the end of the day, we bring in players that the manager wants, and then we can say, yes, we've done some good business. If you ask me, I still argue that Liverpool signing Darwin Núñez was a panic buy, but that's a chance he does well for them again. But we'll see what happens. again, did I read this already? It says, yeah, I think I've read that. Samuel Junior Mulela says, hi, Chelsea family. Hi to you too, Samuel. I hope you're doing well. And again, 117 likes and 117 people watching and 72 likes. Again, we need just 28 more likes to get to 100 likes. So keep liking the video. And like I've told you before, I'd rather you like the videos than you donate to the channel. The likes will do more for the channel. There are other ways the channel will make money. Again, I don't want you to donate your hard-earned money to the channel. Don't worry about that. Your support, you watching the video, you being part of the conversation, you even watching without commenting, those things do go a long way for the channel. And thank you for all the love and support you've shown to this channel. And we will get to 4,000 subscribers soon. Gunplay the Gamer says that Lukaku has a terrible first touch. Again, I'm not going to go into, I love you, Gunplayer. I'm not going to go into Lukaku's, his deficiencies because the fact is he started well. And if he continued to start to score and end up around 20 to 25 goals at the end of the season, we wouldn't be even be talking about his first touch right now. And be sincere with yourself. At one point, the way he started during his second stint at Chelsea, then you think things were going to be better. But that's by the way. And here again says, okay, he's talking to Just Viola, says, why sell Ziyech when TT says he wants to change the system? We're not sure he said that, but there's a chance that's the truth. But then again, maybe there's still something. He still prefers players who are able to still, perform, even if he changes to a system that doesn't suit their specialty, if you want to phrase it that way. Or maybe Ziyech is the one who's asking to leave, and the manager doesn't want to keep a player that's asked to leave the club. Plus, also, maybe the club is already talking with to other clubs for a replacement for Ziyech, and they're confident they're going to bring in somebody even if he leaves. But the truth remains, even though we're negotiating with AC Milan, the club could tomorrow say, okay, we're not selling because we can't find a replacement. There's a chance that happens. Or maybe they want somebody from AC Milan that they think will do well for us, better than Hakim Ziyech, he's done for us. But we'll see what happens. Again, says good evening to you too, my fellow American. Jose CFC, big up to you, brother, and happy 4th of July. I hope you're having some fun with your family. Like the stream, guys. Yes, the Queen says like the stream. Keep liking the videos. And my brother used to say, smash that like button. Yes, people, keep liking the videos. I appreciate that. Says, I don't agree that there was no plan to replace Lukaku. The relationship between Lukaku and Tuchel broke down. Again, a long time ago. Tuchel knew he did not want Lukaku any longer a long time ago, I guess. Yeah, I agree with that. Again, I'm going to skip quite a few here to get to the bottom of everything, except if I see any question to address. Who's this Premier League? Who's this PL that caught a case of some serious allegations being thrown around, and hopefully it's resolved? Are you talking about Bissouma? Can you elaborate and be specific? So, hi from the UK, Isabella Vance. I love that name. And welcome to the channel, and please be sure to like the video and also do subscribe to the channel. I'm going to skip quite a lot to get to the bottom, and then I'll try to read subsequent comments. Again, sorry if I missed anything you'd want me to read. And Diego Reyes, nice to see you again. How are you doing, Diego Reyes? He says, hello. If Chelsea sell Broya, they will commit some mistake or buy Tammy Abraham. Again, if I was Broya, I would want to leave. Do I want the club to keep him? Yes. But for obvious reasons, that's not something I want to get into right now. Kachila, I thought when I woke up today, we would be announcing Sterling. Again, I thought so too. I've started saying, keeping watch for his announcement until it happens. Please smash the like button. Says before we say Yolu, tell me if you're Nigerian. That sounds Nigerian. No, Delete wants to go. Now Delete wants to go to Bayern, and we are being linked to Pavard. I prefer Aki to Pavard. Again, Ty, you want to say something about that?
Honestly, it's just speculation. How many times have Sky Sports Germany gotten things wrong? Because I'm pretty sure Sky Sports Germany was the one that broke it. I remember when they said Holland to Chelsea was going to happen. He was going to come to Chelsea. He's told Dortmund to let him go to Chelsea. So this, you have to take these things with a grain of salt. You're going to be hearing that other clubs want the players that are close to joining your club, or players that have said that they're open to join the club. So sometimes you need to do it. And plus, when it comes on to Chelsea, you'll always hear the media say that no, he's not going to go to Chelsea, he's going to this club. And in some cases you'll hear that those players still end up coming to Chelsea. I mean, I can remember, in the past where they said what's his name? Makelele. Makelele is not coming to Chelsea, he's gonna be staying at Real Madrid for one more year. Lo and behold, 2003, he still signed. So you need to take these things with a grain of salt. I mean, he could be open to joining there, but doesn't mean that he would prefer them over there. And I don't think the narrative to say that he'd be willing to stay. All we're hearing is these reports that these players are open to stay for one more year at their clubs, and then the next year they go to the new club that are open, are willing to sign them. So I think we should take these with a grain of salt, because the media tends to twist things, especially when it comes on to Chelsea. And Chelsea have this bad luck with getting along with the media, and the media will always spread things that in some cases it proves to be wrong, and it proves to be false. I'm just happy that we haven't heard anything about Sterling yet.
Yeah, again, let's see what happens. I'm still confident, and I don't know, Ty, you still haven't shown any signs of panic. There's something with Louisa, but I think she argued maybe we'll end up paying more money. But Louisa, that's by the way, given this Kim So's comment on the screen, and by the way, Kim So, nice to see you again. I hope you're doing well. Can you, again, let me just quickly address this. True Blue says he removed Jeff Gutterson by accident. And Jeff, you understand it was an accident. He didn't mean to take you off. So looking at this comment by Kim So, he says Tuchel left PSG because of stars. Why would he take CR7 and Neymar? Again, before I give it to Louisa to talk about it again, if the owners, who we know are profits focused, if they want a player just to build on the clubs, you could say that is commercial viability. There's a chance they agree. Okay, but I don't see that happening again. That's me. So, Louisa, can you talk about that?
Yeah, for the Neymar deal, I'm not too sure about what Thomas thinks about it, but specifically for the Ronaldo deal, is sure, or let's just say 90% sure, because till you hear from the horse's mouth, nothing is exactly 100% sure. But it's sure that Todd wants Ronaldo, Thomas does not want Ronaldo. But we have to think about it like, okay, what's on the table and what's at stake? Todd is building a business. Todd is not a sole owner of Chelsea. Todd has people he's answering to, not necessarily answering to, but he has partners in this business who want to make a profit.
So it's not all about him.
Yes, it's not all about him. It might end up being that, okay, I want to work closely with Thomas, but at the end of the day, it gets vetoed on some stuff. Thomas does not want Ronaldo. The American way for sports is buy the big name players, sell the most shoes, sell the most jerseys, get the most sponsorship deals in. And Ronaldo is a very big brand. It could make Chelsea. The last I think the last financial report, which was the 2020/2021 season, Chelsea made the loss of around 100 million in administration. Those are the kind of things that will no longer be acceptable when you don't have a sole owner that is treating the club like a pet project, where he's not afraid to put in money at any point in time. These are people with shares. We're owned by a consortium, which is like basically an investment company, which they put in money and expect to see returns on their investment. We're not going to be run that way again. We are going to sell off a lot of our loan players. I'm sure that's going to be coming too. But this Ronaldo deal is happening is that we might end up seeing Ronaldo at Stamford Bridge and we shouldn't be surprised. But at the same time, if Thomas gets his way, we're not going to see him. But you can still think about it like this. It's also a business. Thomas might end up having to bargain for accepting Ronaldo. Maybe you'll be like, okay, I'm going to get this and this and this, and I'm going to bring in Ronaldo. But Ronaldo is such a big personality that it's going to like mess up the plan. We know that, okay, yes, Ronaldo is one of the best players of all time, but when you think about it, is it worth? Because he's a 37 years old player. There's no amount of taking care of his body that is going to do that is going to give you more than maybe 2 years. If he's really lucky and they manage him, manage his minutes, manage his health, we can get maybe 3 years. But there's no amount of keeping his body together that is going to exceed playing at the highest level in toughest league for more than 3 years. When Ty talked about the positives of bringing in Ronaldo, he talked about, okay, it's definitely going to, we've not had a striker that has given us like 20 plus goals in a season for a really long time in the league. Yes, Ronaldo might give us that. That's a positive. Another positive I thought about when Ty was talking about was that Ronaldo has very good work ethics. It's not my favorite player, but it does seem like he works hard, and maybe that could be contagious for the like younger generation. They could see him working, and they are working also and training as hard as he's training. That could be contagious for them. But is Thomas really going to call him aside during a game and like, okay, we've gotten the lead in this game. I know you didn't score, but you need to calm down and join in the team defense. We're not going to lose this lead. You don't need to go after a goal so that nobody will be caught out of position. Just wait for this game to be over and would pick up the game from there. Those are the kind of things you look at. If Ronaldo was coming in after Thomas has already established a team and created the team after what he wants, that's a different case, because you can bring in Ronaldo as a mercenary. Okay, come here for 1 season. Let's win as many trophies as we can with you banging in goals. We're going to be giving you the ball. That's going to be the team tactics. For this 1 season, every ball moving forward, you need to look for Ronaldo's feet. It's not going to happen that way. So Ronaldo coming, yes, there's always a chance that it could come because we've changed our owners. We have an American owner that has a change philosophy, but at the same time, we have a coach that does not really want him here. But do you want your coach to have the biggest player that they actually do not want here? A player that's basically like uncoachable, because there's nothing you want to tell him. He has played with the best, he has trained under the best, he has been coached by the best. What do you want to tell Ronaldo that he'll be like, yes, Thomas, I'm listening to you? If Thomas feels like he can handle Ronaldo's personality, all fine and good.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
All fine and good, but I don't think Thomas wants Ronaldo, but we might see Ronaldo because Thomas is not the one in charge of. It's not solely the one in charge of what happens with the players that come in and the kind of business we do.
Yeah, a good response right there. I'm gonna go straight up to Tobago. Again, Tobago, I know you've had your thoughts, but we're talking about it again because it's garnering a pace, it's garnering steam, if you want to phrase it that way. Your thoughts on the links, with the rumors that Ronaldo, Chelsea are looking to sign a Ronaldo, and we're actually the front runner, some people say. So do you see any positives to him coming? If you see positives, would you still have him? Does the positives trump what you perceive as the negatives?
Okay, first of all, big up, guys.
Big up to you too.
Ronaldo. Commercially, yes, I'll take him. But
commercially,
yes, but on the pitch, no, because like he's 37 years old, and then the way we play, we want our striker to press, or our players to press. So, will Ronaldo press, or will Ronaldo take extraction from Thomas Tuchel during the games? Because like we have seen that a lot under former Manchester United manager, that one left, Frank Rijkaard. Because like when they take him out, he's frustrated and doing a lot of things. And then again, if you're going to bring Ronaldo, Thomas Tuchel is going to be under pressure at the same time to produce. Because what I know about Ronaldo, his standards are high. That's why he wants to leave. He doesn't want to play for Europa League. So getting Ronaldo, man, no, I don't want Cristiano Ronaldo Chelsea. But if they sign him, what can we do? At the end of the day, we are the supporters will support him, but hopefully not him. I rather promote Broja.
Bobby, can you comment? I totally I'm with you on that one.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I thought I'd hop in and just try and drop a few words on all this. What I'm seeing going on at Chelsea now is a case of the emperor's clothing. This is nonsense. This is insane. I just can't see, when Roman came to Chelsea and he took over the club back then, there was a glut of players coming into Chelsea. The issue was how, after bringing in all these players, we would start to offload people because we were overstocked and there were too many players that were surplus to requirements. And it was from that luxury of choice that we could then make decisions as to whether we felt we could hang on to certain players that you could describe as luxuries. Cristiano Ronaldo is more than a luxury. He's a liability. If he comes to Chelsea, all this talk of commercial, this and that, he's going to be 38 years old. His commercial value will wane. It will still be high, but it won't be what we think it would be. His impact on the pitch will be reduced. Players will be forced to play to him rather than play to a team. And yet again, we will find that the other 10 players will be running around trying to cater to this one player, like we had with the Lukaku situation. Now, it's been very clear that the Boehly group said they're not going to purchase any players without the go-ahead from Thomas Tuchel. So any talk of anything being done behind his back is a stab in the back. So I don't believe this guy is coming to Chelsea. If he is, I think Chelsea are going in a more stupid direction than I can see them going already. They're not doing anything. And we have to stop pretending, it's going to be okay. There's 2 more months to the end of the transfer window. What are you waiting 2 months? What, for all the best players to go and be taken up by the rivals? Because that's what's happening. We're not being decisive. We're sitting down trying to pretend to negotiate a situation that is not negotiable. You negotiate when you're in a position of strength, not when you're in a position of weakness. Right now, we're in a position of weakness. If we're going to have to overpay to get us in a position of strength, then so be it. We cannot afford to negotiate. We don't have the players. We're wasting time focusing on people that are irrelevant to our direction. What are we looking at Ronaldo for? What a waste of time. Absolute waste of time. It's insane. And I would never support it. I've sat here as a fan and I've watched us do things. I remember when we were going to get Lukaku, and I'll go on stream after stream after stream and say, look, if we can't get Haaland, let's just go for either a very unknown striker that if we get in Haaland the next season really wouldn't matter because he wouldn't cost us much, or don't go for anybody at all. People are saying, go for Lukaku. I said, look, this guy is not good. He's not good enough. No, he's great. He's scored this. He's scored that. He's going to do this, that, and the other. Okay, fine. He came to Chelsea, then he started hoping. Once we are bringing in players on hope rather than certainty, we're in trouble. Ronaldo coming to Chelsea's hope. We don't know what we're getting. We're not sure whether he's going to score a goal, whether he's going to be able to last the season. Why do we want to put ourselves in that position? That's just how I feel about it. It's insane. I will never support it. And I know in this instance I'm right. This guy's trouble. If he comes to the team, he will cause nothing but disruption and will become more chaotic than we are right now.
Yep. Glenn loves what Bobby was saying too much. He said, marry me, Bobby. Again, that's by the way, but you make some great point there in terms of us going for Ronaldo. It's something that doesn't make sense to me. If it comes and does well, fine. But to me, ask me upfront, I tell you, it's something I wouldn't want to see happen at my club. Right now, we have 133 people watching, and we have 78 likes. Just 22 more to get to 100. Let's shoot for 200 by the end of the show. If you haven't, please take a second to like the video. And if anybody asks you to pay, tell them the queen of the house, Just Viola, had already paid for you, and you won't be into any trouble. Evis Ocheri says, out of the three, I prefer Neymar. All the Chelsea need is a creative position, 10 attacking midfield to create a chances. Secondly, he is younger. Love the show. Watching from Nairobi, Kenya. Nice to see you, my Kenyan brother, East African. I appreciate you coming. Please be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Right now, it is just 18 more likes to get to 100. Again, I saw that something delicious that my brother and friend Mikhail shared with me on Twitter. I'm not sure how I'm going to navigate the copyright aspect of it, and I'll send them an email tonight to see if I'm able to use them on the stream tomorrow, because that's something that's interesting that I would want us to talk about. It's about the system and if really I think whether Thomas Tuchel wants this players. So again, 130 people watching and 82 likes. If you haven't, take a second to like the video to show your support to the channel. And Victor Ahanyare, this guy just made the point I have been trying to make. I look at all the love for Bobby in the chat. Okay, we'll see. We too slow in the market. When we are ready, the good ones will all be gone. Maybe then we'll be willing to spend the money, whatever the clubs are asking to get in the player. But I get your concern, my brother. Raymond Beatrice says that Chelsea should not buy Ronaldo, but can buy Neymar. Also, I think Neymar will be even more expensive to buy. That's just the truth. Also, Chelsea should try bringing the best available players as soon as possible and stop wasting time. Okay, I don't have an answer for that. Glenn, that's right. Glenn is the comedian we have in the Chelsea Perspective family. Always say something. And Mikhail too. Chama yourself, I'm agreeing with Bobby. I'm jealous. Again, that's just not okay, but it's fine. Let Bobby get all the love, but I'm not going to join your boss. You guys are too negative for me, but I get it. I'm just kidding anyway. Chukwi Kemo Lenze says Chelsea should add Sterling and Ligt this week before US tour in Los Angeles. There's a chance that happens. There's also a chance that what we're hearing about Bayern is the truth, but you never can tell. Victor Angaya said, my only problem with the Ronaldo issue is I don't think it makes sense to have two 37-year-olds in the team. You can argue one is in the attacking area, one is in the defense, so you don't have too much problem. There are other areas where I'm concerned. The positives is that... Sorry?
That sounds ageist.
Yeah, exactly. But then again, the truth is, the positives is that he will score goals. And then the younger players will learn something from him. But the negatives is there's a chance he creates problems in the dressing room. That's a chance he would want it to always be him. Remember, again, you could argue Ronaldo is a selfish player, especially when he was still at Madrid. There were arguments that he doesn't even like his teammates to score. He always wants it to be him. And all that nonsense. But again, Rodrigo made a very, very perfect argument in the morning. Says if you follow Ronaldo, the moment he left Real Madrid was it Juventus to Manchester United, all those clubs, the moment he got there, the other strikers who were at the club, their numbers started dropping. And again, rightly so, rightly, the Clad also argued, counter argued, saying it could be just because he's better than those guys. But if we sit down and look at it like objectively, we see it's just because of who he is. The name alone, there's a chance the moment he's in the team, whether by design or subconsciously, he will become the focus. It's just that simple. So sometimes you don't want to make that mistake, except if Thomas Tuchel feels like he can handle it and agrees to him and agrees to him, joining the club. Again, we'll see what happens. And Chinedu Obiagam says Bobby is a good sport analyst. Even my brothers are starting to support Bobby. Even my Niger brothers. It's okay. I'm not going to cry. I'll hold myself here. Chama Joseph says, hello, Viola. How are you? I am braiding my daughter's hair. Oh, that's so sweet of you. Again, that's why I love the Chelsea's perspective family. It's all love here. And I said, Glenn, it's illegal now. And Bobby might more as much as, again, that's not okay. Again, watch how you phrase it. You can counter arguments, but don't call people names. Ouch, that's so sweet. So sweet indeed. Again, True Blue. And again, Chelsea got us all in limbo. Rafinha and De Ligt already slipping off our hands. That's not the truth. Why hasn't the Barcelona?
That's speculations.
Yeah, that's the speculation. Why hasn't Barcelona? Why haven't they announced Rafinha? If it were that easy for them? Again, I don't know. He does have. A lot of people don't want him solely due to that. I'm not sure, Glenn. I don't like that one. I need our subgroup for this. Please, again, start by joining Twitter and join follow Chelsea Perspective, the Twitter account, and we'll go from there. I'm not sure about WhatsApp group. I don't do that. Gonna play the game. It says, I think this rumor CR7 ruined Man United and Juve are fake. Really, they expected him to carry the team, which he couldn't. Maybe that's the case. At Chelsea, we just want him to fit in the jigsaw puzzle. He's the missing piece. Sounds familiar. Very
one of the Lukaku situations.
Yeah.
The missing piece. The jigsaw puzzle.
This is the movie we've seen before. This is the movie we've seen before.
Exactly. Where's the anger? This is the movie we've seen before. The movie where we heard that maybe the group needs just one more a soldier to be ready to go to war.
Exactly.
You see, that's exactly. This is the movie we've seen before. The same director, the same actor. You could say maybe a different actor, but the storyline is still the same. So that's likely it ends the same way too.
It's a horror movie.
It's a horror movie.
The difference is this time we don't even have the team that we had before to be the missing piece. Everybody's
so
gone.
it's actually going. That's a chance. It's worse.
There's so much insanity going on right now. We hear about Tuchel they're talking about changing the system to a back four, and the one player that suits that system, we're trying to sell him. Does it even make sense? They're trying to sell Ziyech when you want to go to a back four.
It doesn't. Thank you for bringing that up. We're trying to sell Ziyech because the manager has refused to sell the system, to change the system to accommodate him.
Now he's changed the system, and they want to sell him. I mean, what's going on right now is just insane. We've lost two defenders.
But again, Bobby.
What?
Yeah. Go ahead,
We had rumors saying Ziyech handed a transfer request. So should we leave him there, not accepting offers from another club, and will end up causing a lot of trouble?
I haven't heard
do you think that is the truth?
I haven't heard that.
If he was,
no, I'm saying rumors.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think he had a transfer request. Maybe he asked to leave, and the manager doesn't want to be selfish. doesn't want to keep a player who wants, asking to leave doesn't mean you go and hand it. You don't have to hand in a transfer request. That's when, if you're refused, if the club refuses to let you go, that's when you do that to force a move.
We're haggling. Is it 5 million with Juve over De Ligt? How stupid can you be? How stupid can you be? You have a desperate need for this player. Let's not pretend. It's not like, we have a full squad and we're trying to strengthen. We have a yawning gap in defense. Move in and pay the money. Just pick up the guy. Why are you haggling? What are you haggling? Because in the end, you're going to pay the money anyway. Either they take it from you in cash, which is what they want, or they're going to take away one of your prize assets, which is Christian Pulisic. Nothing Chelsea is doing right now makes any sense. We don't look like we're strengthening. We look like we're weakening. And all we have to look forward to for our efforts is possibly Raheem Sterling. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. I don't know what's going on. That's why I said, please, I want to be the director of football. I'll go in there and sort that place out, because right now it's chaos.
Bobby, you're already fired. You're already fired from your director of football just by calling Christian Pulisic a prized possession. You're fired.
Well, he's a prized possession, because if we're going to look for commercial value in Cristiano Ronaldo, we already have commercial value in Christian
So why
Pulisic.
go for Cristiano Ronaldo? So it makes sense. And so, Bobby, thank you again for that input. Again, I'm looking at it. We have 126 people watching, and we still need 11 more likes to get to 100 likes. And remember, we're shooting for 200 likes by the end of the show. So keep liking the video if you haven't. And Choma Yusuf says, Coach, we love you too. If you were watching, I smiled when I read that. That makes me happy. At least I have somebody that openly says they love me here. My sister, Dalo Onwane. I appreciate that. And what do we have next here? Again, it is Glenn. Again, what's Glenn saying this time? I'm sorry, Coach. I was hesitant to write that. But it was the fact. I know what you're talking about. It's all right, bro. But then again, if we can avoid using such language, it will be fine. But I love you. Again, Mona Michael Moyeka looks like a Madrid fan, or maybe just, let me read what he says. But willing failing to sign, but we're failing. Oh, we are. So he's a Chelsea fan, maybe also a Madrid fan. We're failing to sign a player. Every day is rumors and nothing is confirmed. This team now is given up. It's giving us worry a lot. Again, you have every right to be concerned. That shows you really do love the club. And my brother Liam Alain says a Premier League player arrested in North London accused of rape. So that's actually serious. I think you're the third person now that talked about it. Who exactly is it? Bissouma?
No, they didn't name. I don't think they named the player, except they didn't name the player. So everyone
they
is just
probably don't know who the player is at this point.
No, they probably know, but they don't want to say anything just to avoid defamation in case it's.
Okay, innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah, just want to avoid any lawsuits.
Okay, it makes sense now. Okay, keep us updated, Liam. Thank you for that. Oh, Glenn, I'd completely forgotten about that. Again, I says, don't compare a five-time Ballon d'Or winner to Lukaku. We're not comparing them. Again, I don't know how to talk about this Ronaldo issue, but I'm just going to move ahead. We're not comparing them. I think I'll go to hell even if I try to compare them, because I will not be forgiven. So I just don't want to go there. Don't sign Ronaldo. Ronaldo won't add any value to the club. He adds value indeed. But the question is what he brings. Does the negatives trump other positives to what he brings to the club? Again, like I've argued, it's all what you will always. Ronaldo will always want the whole everything to be about him or nothing. If Chelsea wins the Champions League, he wants to be hearing it was because of Ronaldo, and you know what that means. And Glenn says, I tried to. It had a lot of attention back then, but I have no idea how it turned out. To be honest, there were rumors that he paid her or something very shady. you're talking like you know who that is. Please be specific.
No, this
So we'll
person
know.
is referring to Ronaldo's own case.
Oh, the U.S. case. The U.S. case. I'm aware of that. So, but that's by the way. I actually don't want to talk about that. Victor, I wasn't trying to sound because like the panelist said, soccer is a physical game. Now you're sounding like an American. You can only cheat nature or defy gravity for so long. I get it. I get it. It's a great comment right there. Big up, big up, big up to Bobby Fairview. I haven't seen you in a while, brother, and I am honestly asking you. I hope things are well with you. Please do let us know. You know how much we love you here. Again, nice to see you. I says, stop crying, Bobby. Again, yeah, I get it. But more love than that type of comment for Bobby. You say you're my brother, and you know I love you. Gunplay, the gamer says, how many goals do you guys think Lukaku would score in this Man United team? This current when CR7 scored 24 goals. Imagine him being serviced. Let me ask you this.
But it
After
was
the
being
24 goals,
it was being serviced at United. Everybody was
yeah,
targeting
it
him.
was all about him.
It
Yeah.
even got to a point where before Greenwood got arrested, it felt like the news coming out of the camp was that he was angry at Greenwood for not passing to him in the final third. He was being serviced and he got his 24 goals. Now at Chelsea, our main problem is who is going to be servicing him, because that's the same issue Lukaku faced at Chelsea.
And the most important question is, after Ronaldo scored 24 goals, where is Man City? Where are they on the table? I asked my brother, declared that question in the morning, and he dodged it. He couldn't explain. All they were busy arguing that he will score goals for us. But if he alone scores 24 goals, and when other players don't get much chances, they don't score enough goals to be at least make it to top four, then there's a problem. But we're not just telling ourselves the truth about it. But that's, by the way, I just don't want to go into that argument. And Chibike Mulenze says, I still feel Rafinha would join Chelsea. That's a chance. If not, why haven't Barca, finished signing him and maybe add a 100 billion buyout clause on his contract, and he signs this? So that just doesn't make sense. Again, it says Bobby Fairview. Great to hear Bobby on the panel, always bringing a thoughtful perspective, Chelsea perspective. But Bobby, I touch you on my side, but no problem. Again, Bobby supporting Bobby, so I'm not surprised. It says, Bobby, you are a good pundit, but I think now you're being too salty on Ronaldo. Again, I know Bobby can take it, and this is not an insult, but I get it. On Ronaldo, the man has won 5 Champions League titles. Show some respect. And I'm a Messi fan, but okay, let me ask you this. I get your argument, Gunplay. You know I really love you. He's won 5 Champions League. Did he win one at Juve? No. Did he win one at United? No. The whole thing stopped at Real Madrid.
He won at United his first stint.
His first stint at United.
Yes.
So put that into perspective if you're taking how many goals he scored after he left Bayern Munich. He left Real Madrid. So again, that's my argument. Oh, bless up, just we all are always good to see you. But Bobby, I hope you never miss a show. You and Kachila are the backbone of this show. Again, thank you very much for saying that. I do love Bobby. More importantly, I bet he's never the one to say, okay, I'm getting on this bus because everybody is on that bus. That makes a good show. We have different perspective, and that's another reason why I love Declare too. Declare is never, I'm going on this bus because everybody's on that bus. He brings a different perspective, and without that, we don't have a show. But with the argument, we learn from each other. We come to sensible conclusions, and I say, okay, this should be like this. This shouldn't be like this. I don't think this is this. We're learning here, okay? And Victor Aya says, I was not trying to sound, again, edges as the panelist suggested. I'm sorry if it came across that way. No worries, brother.
No, I feel bad.
No worries. And who's spamming the chat? Well, I'm gonna block that person. Somebody time here. Okay, they already did. If it comes back and continues again, then I'll block him. Just leave him. Let me see it and block him finally. It is a 29-year-old. Which of them is? Let us know. Bayern reportedly offered less lump sum, but more on add-ons to bring them just below our offer. I know you're talking about Delete. And Juve doesn't want to sell for less, which makes sense. Wow, so this is serious. For Tribute to talk about this like this, it just shows it is really serious because he follows, from what I've learned from him, he follows, and he's one of the first to start suggesting Delete for the club. So, but let's see what happens. I don't, Chelsea shouldn't let that happen. Priors Evans, my Jamaican brother, heights to you and much love. He says, I would sign CR7 on the blink of an eye. I don't like you anymore. Bye-bye.
Coach,
Juliano Sama says
Coach.
Chelsea should try to sign Raheem Sterling. Warn it. Hopefully it works this week. And we are the only big sides that have not signed any players, but that doesn't mean we should assign 37-year-old Cristiano Ronaldo. Safa, I think I like you. You're my friend. And Chibikem Wileza says Chelsea need to get Sterling this week because they need to reduce the mindset of Chelsea fans. Yeah, do you think they care?
Coach.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to respond to one of the points about the De Ligt deal and Bayern Munich.
Go ahead.
Bayern offered 51 million. So, of course, they're going to offer more in add-ons to try and make it up. You know, Chelsea offered 60 million. And I think Juve are asking for within the region of 65 to 70. So we're well ahead of Bayern in terms of cash offer. And my annoyance is, look, when you get to that point, for a position that you need, we're not in a position of luxury here, unlike Bayern that have Upamecano and I've forgotten the name of the other guy they have. They have defenders. We don't. So just pay the money. Just pay the money. Yes, it's an overprice, but you've got to be decisive and ruthless. And hesitation is what causes people problems in this sort of situation. You can't afford to hesitate. And Chelsea are hesitate FC. We're hesitating.
Let me quickly ask you this, Bobby. Can you, with any proof or categorically say the problem with the Delete deal is that we're not agreeing to pay how much they're asking us? There's a chance there are other factors, delaying the whole thing.
No, it's the asking price. There's no fee agreed. If there's a fee agreed, the deal will go through. De Ligt hasn't said he doesn't want to play for Chelsea. The only reason he went to talk to Bayern was because Chelsea was faffing about. He's been clicking his heels waiting for Chelsea to sort out the money. So, of course, when Bayern called him, he's going to go and listen to them. It's normal.
But he has also listened to Bayern, and Bayern is offering not as much as Chelsea are offering.
No, how do we even know?
Let me tell you how it works.
Look, Louisa, you're my co-host, and I love you.
Chelsea,
the truth. How do we even know that happened?
Well, it's not going to be untrue. Chelsea offered money for De Ligt. In between the first and the second bid, the first bid was rejected, right? So Bayern come in and say they're going to bid, and they talk to De Ligt. Of course he's going to listen to them. And then they offer a bid which also has been rejected. Now Chelsea have offered their second bid as well, which is just below the mark. Now, if they are ruthless enough, they'll just go in a third time, pay the money, and take their man. What are you waiting for? What are you negotiating? You're not in a position to negotiate. Yeah. That's my point.
Again, Bobby, even at that, I don't think it will make sense to just give them what they're asking. But I still believe we're fine. I love you. But I'm going to let you know that's how I feel about your comment on that. And
you know why I think it will? Yeah. Because we've already had egg on our face for paying nearly 100 million for Lukaku. What difference does it make? Pay for this guy, get it done, move on. We're not the first super club to have paid big money for a player Not once, not twice. Look at the money people like Real Madrid pay. Look at the money even Man United pay. Depends on what you want. You get what you want. Once you've got your players in place, then you can start playing negotiation games for add-on players, not for foundation players. We've got nobody. We can't go into a season. We can't even go into pre-season with this squad that we've got, not to mention the start of the Premier League. That's my point.
All right,
There
I'm
is
going to try to catch
urgency.
up with the chat so we're not far too behind. Bobby, is that okay?
Yeah, I'm just upset. I'm so angry.
No, I know, I can sense it. So again, Yazid Ghazawi, just one hi, hello will be enough. You don't have to type it till infinity, please, because otherwise they will block you. But notwithstanding, welcome to the channel and please feel at home. Again, I just want you to be able, and I cannot wait. Okay, I don't want to. Again, I'm not sure. I hope Barcelona gets relegated. Again, we're really mad at them. If Tuchel plays 4-3-3, keep Hakim. There are other factors that you could argue that are the reasons why Hakim has decided, because he wants to leave. If he doesn't want to leave, he'd say I'll stay. Like he said the past 2 seasons or so, this past season, that he's going to stay and fight for his place. Imagine Hakim and Raheem. That's rhymes. I love music and I love that. But beyond the rhymes, would they work together well? That comes to mind. 2020-21 season, Man United scored 73 goals. Last season, Man United scored 53 goals. Less. Am I correct? Less goals, right? I know it's not fair to say Ronaldo was the problem, but he could be part of the problem. That brings us back to that argument we've made before, but I'm not just gonna dwell on that. I'm just gonna move on. I don't want that argument right now. Chibikem will say, Bobby, please, you need to trust Boehly in Tuchel, please. We had much troubles without Boehly, and Tuchel still managed the crisis. Even Bobby himself calls, I think, I'm not sure if he calls him a miracle worker, but whenever he talks about Tuchel, he believes in Tuchel's ability to make do with whatever that's available to him. Again, both have some mentality. Please be patient. Again, I'd advise Bobby to be patient too, but Bobby will always express himself, and he has every right to do so. Again, he didn't win Juve at Man United, but at Madrid, the man was surrounded with Modric. Oh, I think you're actually answering your own question, and I hope you learned something from me too for yourself. Gunplay, I love you so much, and you've been, your inputs have been great today as usual. Ronaldo will clog up your center just like Lukaku did. Buscafadan, that's a delicious comment, and I love it. How can we talk about signing CR7 if we haven't signed a defender? I think the club can do all of those things at the same time. I'm going to skip everything and get to the bottom, because if I try to read everything we have there, that's a chance I'll be reading until the end of the day. We offered allegedly 70 plus 10, and on Bayern, less plus more adders, but still marginally lower than us. Just blow them out of the water. We don't have to advertise our fee and use Alonso money to up the beat. Let me say something here. This is the first time I'm hearing True Blue supporting us blowing anybody out of the water. He's never the one to say, just give them the money and get the player. But I think he's saying that right now. And that's a surprise to me. That just shows how much he loves the Leeds, because he was one of those that started advertising for the club to sign him. But that's, by the way,
he recognizes the urgency, coach. We have an urgency. We can't lose. We can't lose this player.
Yeah.
So we've got to do what it takes. That's all. We're not being panicky. We're trying to be concise for the purpose of the club.
Yeah, I agree with you. Giuliano Safa says, Coach, thank you for being my friend. I love your analysis too. So how can I be getting this show? Just subscribe. Make sure you click on the notification button. So whenever 30 minutes, every time we want to go want to go live, you will be notified. Or even if we release a short video, you will be notified. And again, welcome to the Chelsea Perspective family. Feel free, express yourself. The only rule is just be respectful. If somebody says something you don't like, just present your counter argument. You're free here to express yourself. Thank you very much for joining the family. You guys are doing a nice job. Thank you so much, Chibik and Wendem. I appreciate that. We should sign a Diaby and a Flimpong from Bayer Leverkusen, Cornet from Bali. Keep maybe add some lower qualities to it again. Ebanks, you know I love you, but I'm not. Hakim Ziyech is a magician. I agree with that, and Chelsea should not let him go. Unfortunately, I want him to leave. If we can utilize him to his best, and he's a specialty player, we don't have to be selfish about it. We just let the player go. So now, coming back to the panel, Louisa, let me start with you. Talk about Neymar. And while you're at it, if you're given the opportunity to choose between Neymar and Ronaldo, which of them would you ask the club to sign?
If I had to choose between both of them, I would pick like neither of them because their history.
Oh my!
The only way I would pick one or the other between both of them is if I had a gun to my head. If I was not under any pressure to pick in either of them, I wouldn't pick, because Neymar has an history of he's one of those players who has the talent, but he does not have the hard work to back it up. It feels like he's just fine with coasting through with his talent as long as his talent gets into where he is, and his wage is criminal. For what he does, his wage is criminal.
Ronaldo's is even higher.
No, I feel like his wage is around 500 to 600, which is still around the price that Ronaldo's own is. And Neymar owns his image rights, so you are paying him. You're also paying for him as a person. If you are going to be using his pictures, you are going to be showcasing him in your videos. You are paying for him as a person. You are paying for him as a footballer, and for Neymar, the brand.
He's a movie star too. Yeah, because he's an Avenger. Is it Avenger 2 or which of them? I'm not sure. Maybe the second Avenger movie. But here's the thing. I think the owners will be okay with it business-wise. The only question is, will Thomas Tuchel want him? We've heard rumors before, and even it was True Blue who shared a video where you could say he was literally celebrating the firing of Thomas Tuchel from PSG. We don't know how truthful that is. But just do me a favor, please. Please, as my co-host, do me a favor. Humor me. If you're asked to choose between him and Ronaldo, which of the players would you choose?
I'll take Neymar, because...
And tell us why.
I feel like Neymar could be more of a team player compared to Ronaldo. Neymar would not really... Neymar still reportedly has some dressing room issues that is concerned with his ego, but it feels like it would be more manageable than someone like Cristiano Ronaldo, because Ronaldo has achieved all he basically needs to achieve for club. Is just there. Neymar, we've seen Neymar has worked considerably well with Messi and Mbappe already. He's used to not being the only star player on teams that he has been on. He's played with Suarez and Messi also in Barca. So I feel like Neymar would be the best choice if we really want to do anything. But his injuries, his excuses for not playing, I feel like it's not something I would want. But if it was either or, then definitely Neymar, because he plays from the wings. He's used to not being the point person. He can create. He's able to create for others, and if he can stay injury free and actually put in the work, it could be a good signing.
Let me quickly catch up with the chat. I think great response right there, and I'll come back to the panel to get Thijs, Thursday, and Bobby. Gunplay the game. Thank you for that, love. He says Kachila pushing himself, not just me, all the panelists, because every time I call upon them, they answer. And you, the supporters, also. Again, the channel is where it is today because of your support, because of you watching. Even when you're not commenting, the views alone do go a long way. So if I'm here talking to myself alone, the channel wouldn't be where it is today. But you viewers, you contribute quite a lot. Says Kuchila pushing himself to so hard. The guys subscribe. The panel pushing themselves so hard, so to show today and maybe another one in the morning. Yep, there's always the Blue Morning Show will ever be, and whenever Louisa is available, the evening shows will ever be. I just have enough energy to join her today, and that's why practically I'm hijacking her show. But I hope she forgives me for that. But that's, by the way, again, we have 104 people watching, and we have 105 likes. You guys are absolute legend, and I can't thank you enough. I'd be ungrateful not to say thank you to you, but if you haven't, keep liking the video and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And here we have Gitonga David said, the fact that we lost Rudiger, I'd say we don't have the negotiating power you need as on the table. We will be forced to cough out money. Again, I get your argument. Again, I am perplexed by the lead obsession. Is the Juve or Dutch defense known to be particularly tight in recent months? I think he's done quite well at Juve, and he's still 21. Those mistakes that people are looking at and calling him a bad player or comparing him with to Harry Maguire come at his age. We see that it's very common with players at his age. Even at that, he's shown how capable of he is. Playing on the right, from the middle, on the left, and he captained the Juve, even though they still had two Italian defenders there who are almost nearly twice as much as old as him. But that's, by the way, again, let me see. I think they want something similar like Rudiger, who ironically wasn't that good when he joined. Good one, big up Kuchila Deals CFC. Nice to see you again. Talking to Bobby Fairview. Again, he played well at Ajax, a leader, but played under 3 different managers. So Juve, Pirlo involved. I think Mauricio Sarri involved, right? One of them, and then the third one now he's playing under the former Juve manager Allegri. I say, yeah, Neymar behaves like a celeb. Wait, is he not a celeb? He's one. So he's a celeb. Gunplay, I get you. He's a movie star too. Don't forget that. And look at his face. You could say he's a model too. But that's, by the way, again, a seasoned athlete, Neymar earns more than a Ronaldo, 43 million euros per year. Neymar will finish his career and will be like he never reached his full potential. That's the truth. He hasn't won the World Cup, right? He hasn't. Yeah, exactly. But I think he has a chance to win it. And let's see what happens. Are we signing the Juve in Dutch defenses? How have France and English, the defenses done? Have Italy qualified for the World Cup? Good question. So you complete that with Bobby Fairview there. Only reason I would choose Neymar is his age factor, which is an important one. He's younger. Neymar there was a time he was on top talent-wise after Messi and Ronaldo. God, I love the man. Here's the thing. I think he wanted to leave Barcelona because he was practically, he's living under the shadows, you could say, of Messi. So he wanted to be his own man. He left for PSG. And then again, You know what? Messi arrived again, probably taking the show away from, and it seems like Mbappe has toppled him in terms of the importance there at PSG. I'm not sure. Someone on Twitter posted a huge list of why we shouldn't sign Neymar. It was very comprehensive, and I think you should share that with us too. You being stingy with it. We're talking of players leaving, and we are not signing players. I see what happened about 4 happening again. We let Tomori and Zuma leave. Then Kounde fell through. We had to look to folks like Chalobah, and he didn't disappoint. Again, I'm going to skip everything down again. I can continue reading like this. I'm going to come back to the panel. Ty, are you there with us?
Yes, I am.
Okay, Ty, between Neymar and Ronaldo, which of the players would you prefer? if it comes down to we must take one of them, and tell us why you choose any of them.
You know, uh, someone stole my joke I was gonna make. I was gonna say neither, but I mean, the thing is, I think if it comes down to one of them, I think it'd probably be Neymar because I think even though Ronaldo, I would say Ronaldo, wherever way he has gone, he has scored goals. No matter the amount of goals he scored, he has scored goals.
The positives.
Yeah, so I think in terms of that, but with Neymar also brings that creativity that we need. He doesn't only do it for PSG; he does it for Brazil, and Brazil is a team where they have great appreciation for him. There's a lot of value there in terms of him,
Mhm.
and I think another thing that for me very minimal, but I also think he's good at taking corner kicks, and we need a good corner kick taker because I am really tired of seeing us taking corner kicks and never beats the first man. It's always going to the first man and they clear it and then they go on a counter attack. I hate seeing it. We need someone who there's some level of assurance that we can at least score from corner kicks because there's a lot of times where we don't beat the first man. So I think with Neymar, he adds that creativity to the team. If we had to choose one, I would choose him. And he can also add that goal scoring as well. Obviously, it's probably not at the same level as Ronaldo would be relied on in terms of him being more of a wide forward or in some cases a centre forward in some instances. But I think if I had to choose between what I have to say Neymar because he has that creativity that would assist us, and I mean it would be key. I mean if we get Sterling, getting a Neymar would also unlock him in a sense because we need creativity in order to get the best out of him as well.
Yep, we need another Silva for Stalin, and he has something Tobago shared. I was complaining already, and I saw the translation below. I'm not going to try to read the Spanish version, or maybe if, I'm not sure what language is that. But here he says, delete today the Chelsea will prepare a new offer with a base exceeding 70 million. The Bayern continue to inquire, interested in you can see this person use Google to interpret these quiz first. So I'm not sure, but the fact that the whole thing I understand from there is that Chelsea will go in with another offer, maybe an improved offer, probably to blow them out, blow them away, like True Blue suggested. I hope that happens because I really like the player. Again, here, Tom Golu Beavers says, we create so many chances. Ronaldo will bury them for us. That's another person giving us, borrowing that same movie to us again, familiar movie we've watched, the same storyline and everything. And here's the thing, Ronaldo is a single individual. The chances we create were missed by just one person, a few people. So I don't think that it's saying that would be a solution for us. I don't think it makes sense. Again, that's my argument. But thank you for the input, though. It makes us think about the responses we're giving to you. Says, I will try to get the list tomorrow. Okay, no problem. Whenever you find it, we'll still share it here. I saw the name. I saw the name since Santos days, and there was a time even the Barca board believed he would take over from Messi because he was that good do Chelsea take a risk on him? Is Neymar worth it? I'd rather take Neymar than Ronaldo because he's worked on the Thomas Tuchel. That's a chance Thomas Tuchel has learned on one or two things on how to handle him. Let's see what happens. I will say a good night, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the chat. Talk tomorrow. Love you so much, Glenn. Again, sleep well. See you tomorrow, brother. Says 80 million too much for above average young player. Need what class for that price? Again, elaborate. Let me see what you're trying to say there. Yeah, good night, Liam. Gunplayer says, personally, I think Neymar and Sterling will play for Chelsea. Well, because Sterling very understands that City. Neymar still has a point to prove. So Neymar would be better than would make it better than signing that Ronaldo. Plus, I think he's the less selfish of the two, if you ask me. Last season, we said we created lots of chances, and Lukaku would bang them in. Yeah, big Raul came into the team, and we didn't create the chances. And sometimes he missed the sitters too. I'm going to say good night to. Thank you very much, the Queen of the House. Thank you for finding time to be part of the show. Again, you. I can't thank you enough. But that's by the way. Now coming back. To the panel, just quickly, matter of opinion, the Ligt is above average. Yep, he is, and there's no arguing that. The mistakes he made this past season is something that comes with his age. But that's by the way. So, Bobby, coming to you, of the two players, if you're asked to take one, which one of them would you prefer and why?
Yeah, I mean, just like everyone else on the panel, I would first of all say neither of them. But if I really, at a stretch, have to take one of them, I do so with reasons. The advantage of the two of them that Ronaldo has, as far as I'm concerned, is that when he was at the age of Neymar, he was good in the air. Apart from that, there's nothing. You don't want an old player coming to you that has won everything. You want someone that if they lose something, is going to hurt them, that they play because it means something. Neymar hasn't won a Champions League. He hasn't won a Premier League. He hasn't won an FA Cup. He hasn't won a League Cup. So anything he plays for with Chelsea would mean something. And he would be that little bit more motivated. Plus, I believe, like the others, he is less selfish than Ronaldo for the mere fact that he hasn't had the luxury of being the man, as it were, being the main man that everybody looks to. So, though he'll come with a prima donna attitude, but it'll be tinged or laced a bit with a bit of humility because he's been humbled by other players around him in the past. Now, that doesn't mean to say I think he'll be a good influence at Chelsea. I don't think he will. And all this stuff about his naming rights and all that, I just think it's too complicated and I don't really like it. But if push comes to shove and I really, really have to choose between the two of them in the most unlikely scenario, I would choose him over Ronaldo, a younger player, more to prove as far as Chelsea's concerned.
You mean Neymar?
Yeah, he has something to play for. What does it matter to Ronaldo? You lose a game, the only thing that will hurt him is that he wasn't on the score sheet. So, if there's less incentive, let's put it that way, and no matter what anybody says or how they pretend to want to coat it, it is what it is. He will not have that edge that he would have had if he hadn't won it all. Why do we want to go there?
Yeah, thank you very much, Prince. I appreciate that input. Let me catch up, and then we come to the final, topic, and we'll call it a day. But be sure there will be one at McHugh signing. I think there will be two. He promised, but we'll see what happens. From Boehly, and I think it's either in the mid or that where the McHugh signing is coming from, Rice or Neymar or Ronaldo. I said, and I was. Stick with it. Again, that's a chance that it will be the case. Miss Lionel, our sister comes back. She says, it was great being here. Again, if you saw my face lit up the moment I saw you, I said, yes, at least something that we're distracted from whatever it is, but much love from us. And you did see yourself how much the Chelsea community loves you. And I'm happy to see you. Goland, Bapali said, I prefer Neymar and Sterling more than Ronaldo. I understand. You don't want a player that leaves your club when you don't qualify for the Champions League. Again, it makes sense. Ronaldo wants to play to win. He wants to top the Champions League goals. Again, he will be a smart move. Again, that's the argument. Ronaldo leaving Man United FC for UEFA Champions League. He loses his temper and calls out people, his teammates, for Christ's sake, which was one of the arguments that Declan liked that I don't like. And calls out people because he still wants to win. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. Yeah, I agree. Chalobah did not disappoint, and I'm happy for him. And I am glad that he starts a line up perfectly for him. That's not a point to. We have no plan. We're ad hoc and haphazard. Slow. Again, I understand your argument, but it makes sense. let's say Ronaldo still has a point to prove to who? Get Nabry. If Tuchel wants him, let him go. Again, yeah. Let me come back to the panel, and I'll start with you immediately, Bobby. I think we haven't talked about Raheem Sterling. We're hearing something, and I think we should take it seriously. Or everything we heard, you think, okay, maybe soon, Sterling. I actually thought what we're waiting for next will be the announcement. Some people argued that he will be announced this Monday, and it didn't happen. And now we're hearing we haven't actually negotiated his salary, and he's already on 300.
Yeah, I think I broke that one earlier today. That he's on 300. I think 300 and something at Man City, and he wants an increment. Naturally,
Which is
so.
only natural. When you're changing clubs, you go for higher pay than what you're owning before. Go ahead.
Exactly. So he's probably looking at wanting 350, which was probably why Man City offloaded him in the first place, because they anticipated this. And here we are. You know, we find ourselves in a position of paying about 45 million for Raheem Sterling. And how much does 350 a week come to in a year? That's probably what, upwards in excess of what, 20 million a year on this guy, on this geezer. It's a joke. I'm not keen on this deal personally. I'm just going along with it because there's nothing else out there. But I don't see what Raheem Sterling is bringing to Chelsea that's going to be worth paying 300 in excess K a week. I just think this is another Lukaku scenario. He's a deficient striker. Yes, he's good at a lot of things. Yes, he breaks away. He gets penalties, but he's not going to win you headers. He drifts out of games. He can be bullied off the ball, and he's not somebody. He's not a game changer. So what is it? What are we paying for? What are we paying for? Timo Werner with a few extra goals. It's disappointing. It's an underwhelming transfer for me. I don't think we have a choice, to be honest. I don't want him, but I don't think we have a choice because there's nothing else out there. I would rather have gone for Richarlison, to be honest, but there you go. So, yeah, that's it. So what can we do? What can we do, coach? The guy wants more money. What can we do? I think if we want him, we're going to have to pay him the wages he wants.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Again, I think it makes perfect sense. But again, the reason why I'm not complaining too much, we've been promised that the club will only get players that Thomas Tuchel wants, and if he wants a Sterling, who am I to blow against the wind? Your thoughts, Ty, and where we are this salary thing we're hearing about.
Yeah, this is something that could be an issue, and I mean, I think that guys were saying it's not surprising that this is the case. I mean, he's still younger than 30, so obviously he's not going to be accepting a wage cut or anything like that. And I mean, I think that's one of the reasons, like Bobby was saying, that Man City are so open to letting him leave. And I mean, that's one of the reasons. I think there's more than one reason. But I think this could be an interesting thing to see what happens, because, I mean, will they be willing to get him in, on those wages after, we not long ago was paying somebody close to that range, or I think probably at that range. So I think it'll be interesting to see what happens. I think we may pay less than that. I think we will find a compromise, and I think it could happen. But I think this right now could be a roadblock in terms of when it can be agreed, because I think this is basically the only thing that really would stand in the way, because I think Man City are open to selling him for a reasonable price, and I mean, and on the other hand, they also, are willing to let him leave, and find players, or trying to trust certain players that they already have at the club. I think though, I think at the end of the day, it may still come down to what the club want to do. Are they willing to offer him that much money with no assurance of what he'll do? I think I can't really agree fully with what Bobby is saying. I mean, I can understand where it's coming from, and he always have these little doubts. But I do think that he can bring something. Yes, he won't bring any hero threats consistently. He can do that. I mean, he has done it, but he's not really at a consistent level compared to Richarlison, or probably in other cases other players who can do that hero threat abilities. I think that is something that I think in some cases is unfortunate, because I think in terms of the player that he is, yes, he isn't always eye catching, but I do think he's a good player, and I think he could do good things for the club if he's willing to to do what Tuchel would ask him to do.
Yeah. So you're not really concerned about the salary.
I'm concerned it could cause a roadblock, but I think even if it comes down to offering fairly, I think they'll find a compromise even in that range, or something close to that range.
Yeah. Luigi, your thoughts? Looks like you're on mute. Okay,
Yeah,
go
yeah.
ahead.
So I just saw the whole issue about we've not agreed personal terms with him yet, which was kind of like, Chelsea again, because it would be such a Chelsea thing for all of us to think that the deal is done and there was a little hold up. But I do, like Tide said, I do agree with what Bob is coming from. We've seen Sterling. It does not look like it could be potentially worth paying excess of 300, because it's already on 300. So I feel like the only next viable step would be 350, 360. It will be over 350, over the line of 350 if we are going to, because it's 27 or 28. So it's definitely still in its peak era. So it's going to want its next contract to be higher than what he's already earning to justify, because even if City wants to like let him go, he still has time on his contract that he could easily run down and still continue collecting the money he's collecting from City. It just depends on where is going to be his next move. For Sterling,
Go
Sterling still
ahead.
has
Go ahead.
Sterling still has that like, okay, I want to come. He doesn't have the drive. If according to Bobby, he doesn't have anything to prove in terms of the Premier League, but he hasn't won the Champions League, and he's still struggling to like win something with England. So obviously he's still trying to improve on himself, which I feel like could potentially work in our favor. But at the same time, we've seen Sterling in a Pep's team, and I feel like a Pep's team can either make a player look good or make a player look like worse than they actually are. It's never a clear indication of what you are getting when you get a player from a Pep's team.
Mm-hmm.
The system could fit him. We don't play Pep's system. The system could fit Sterling, and we could get a Sterling that we are like, what we ordered is not what we are getting. That could potentially be what would happen, but at the same time, what's out there? We're going to either get, the rumor was that it was either Sterling or Dembele. Dembele is not, I feel like the ties to Chelsea has already died down as quickly as it came up. I feel like that's a deal that is not going to go through anymore, except something just drastically happens within the next 6 weeks. There's really nothing out there again for us. Sterling is definitely the person to get. The wage is a problem, but I feel like what's going on with the club also is that they are trying to like free up the books, rebalance the books, change the players we have on the books, make sure that we're only paying the high wages to those players that we're actually going to keep. And that's why I feel like even though we might need some players as squad players like them, RLC, Kepa. We might need them as squad players. We may end up offloading those players because they're already on a high wage bill, so that when we do get squad players, we are going to pay them like something more realistic, around 100,000 per week, instead of the amounts that they are already on. So if someone like Sterling is coming for 350, it's only reasonable to pay him that, because it's not like he's coming from somewhere where he was receiving 150 and he wants you to double his money. He just wants a little increment on it because he's already receiving the 300 and something. You need to increase that. It's natural. It's City that made it a bad deal, because I didn't even know someone like Sterling was already on 300 and something. And now we are going into an era where we are going to be renewing some of our academic players. We are going to be renewing some of those like Mount and Reece James. We are going to be renewing their contracts. So we are bringing in someone like Sterling that is going to be coming in with 350. We may see those players going up to as high as 250, 300. So it's a risk, but where we are right now, we're in a position of weakness, according to Bobby. And I do feel like we need to take whatever we have going forward and put a pin on the issues that we're going to get just from making sure that we get through this transfer window and come out in a competitive position. So we're definitely, if we do get Sterling, we're probably going to increase the salary, which would affect other situations. But
yeah, it doesn't end there, because the moment you give him what he's asking for, the players at the club, like you mentioned, I think that's you made a very good point there. They all will be well of his pay, and when the time comes for them to renew theirs, asking something higher or something closer. It depends on how they're doing. Go ahead.
I think this is definitely why we're still looking to offload Ziyech and will offload Pulisic, because it seems that we'll need to develop a kind of two-tier system of wages. The first team will be on high wages, and then the rest in the squad will be of a lower wage structure. And probably that's why it looks like we're leaning very much to the academy boys. In a way, it's good. In a way, it's not so good. But in a way, it answers the question as to where the futures of people like Armando Broja will be. I can't see us offloading him this summer because he's going to be needed for the squad.
Yeah, again, thank you very much for that response. Let me quickly bring up this. I'm not sure about that. He earns 300 at City, so it means he should he should be asking around that number, but we may end up, knocking it down to around 350. But let's see. I hope we'll get him. A good comment there by Miss Lano. Thank you very much for staying and still participating. I sincerely do appreciate that. Bobby, I want you to answer this question. And then while you are, give us your final thoughts, on everything we've talked about today.
Sure. Sorry, I'm on my phone, so I can't really see.
Okay, says, just curious, people who say people should leave before signing up players, and then they're asking, how about a squad depth?
Well, this has always been my tune, isn't it? I'm never a fan of this. I think you make sure that you have your players in place before you start offloading. Now, the risk to that is that you may end up with dead wood that you can't offload, but we're in that position anyway. A lot of our dead wood, we're going to end up having to give them away. I can see us really, if we're serious about offloading the dead wood, some of them are going to have to go for about 5 million, maybe even less. Will they give up their wages though? Look at someone like Malang Sarr on over 100K. It's crazy because no other club's going to give him that much in wages. So I don't know. But yeah, I just think you have to always keep yourself strong. If you're strong, you have the ability to deal with your financial situation in football. But if you're weak, you will go under. That's why Barcelona is doing what they're doing. They're trying to remain strong and relevant so they can get through their finances that way. Because they know if they allow themselves to go weak, then they really will go under. So it's a difficult situation, but that's what I personally believe. But it seems we're doing the opposite. We're just trying to offload players carelessly. And I think that's a very dangerous game.
It is indeed. Thank you very much, Bobby. Again, I'm guessing you that included your final thoughts, or do you have anything else to say?
Sorry, no, that's it. I think I better go to bed now. Thanks for having me, all
No,
of
more
you.
thanks to you.
You guys, you
More thanks to you.
Americans, happy 4th of July.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I sincerely do appreciate that. Ty, over to you. Your thoughts on everything we've talked about.
Will you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I don't know. You were cutting off on my side.
Oh. Yeah, well, go ahead. We can hear you. Your final thoughts on everything we've talked about today.
Well, I mean, we're getting news, and I mean, fans wanted news. They were tired of no news, and now they're getting news. And the only thing they're complaining about now is that we haven't signed anybody. So I mean, it's an improvement in some regard. I mean, we're getting news. It's just about how valid those news are and how credible they are. So I think in that sense, we can try and hope that in terms of Sterling, let's see if a signing can happen in terms of that. But I mean, for me, my stance still hasn't changed on Ronaldo, and in some regard, Neymar. I just don't think that it would be the most smart thing to do in terms of what they can really bring in terms of the negatives. There's positives or negative for everything, so I think that is always something to remember. But for me, I just think that there's some indication that would lead to red flags. But I mean, if it comes down to us, going for one, then so be it. I can't really change it. There's nothing really I can do. I can just support it and just hope that it works out.
Yeah, thank you very much for that comment. And here we see Lee. Lee, it's been a minute. I hope things are well with you. We haven't seen you for a while. And again, nice to see you around. Unfortunately, we're coming to the end of the show. So I'm going to go to my co-host, to give us her final thoughts on everything we've talked about today, so we can call it a day.
Yeah, for me personally, the Ronaldo to Chelsea deal, I hope that's just rumors and his agent is using it to maybe pressure United to do something or pressure someone else to take him off United's hands. Neymar to Chelsea, I feel like if we do get the Barca version of Neymar, and Thomas has already worked with him before, so obviously it's like, okay, we have a shorthand already. You can do this, do that. Neymar to Chelsea is not like the end of time. Ronaldo to Chelsea might be the end of time. But also, when it comes to like the Sterling deal, City already messed up the wage bill. I feel like someone like Sterling should not be getting up to 350,000, but we are where we are. He's already receiving 300,000, and if you really want to entice him to come to your club, you have to offer him more than he's already receiving, because at City, Pep basically has England in a chokehold right now. So he's guaranteed to win something at City. Chelsea is coming to fight for his life for every trophy we are going to get, if we do get trophy during his time. So you would not leave a club like City to come to a club like Chelsea that City is strengthening. City are making sure that they are ready to win that Champions League by the time this new season comes around. You're not going to leave a club like Chelsea, City to come to Chelsea, where even if Pep doesn't want Sterling anymore, Sterling is still going to get game time at City, because he's going to play the little cup games that Pep does not. Pep rotates heavily, so he's still going to get the minutes, some minutes at City, but maybe World Cup year, he might want to just be starting regularly, which could be to our advantage, and he might end up taking something lower than 400 to come to Chelsea. But at 300 already at City, we need to add something. But I hope we don't go above 350, because if you go above 350, that's the beginning of the end.
Yeah, thank you very much for that response. And I can't thank you enough for finding the time to join. And again, more you'll be seeing more and more for Louisa during the evening shows and less of me. Again, thank you very much, guys, for being part of the show. Lee, sorry, he says, I get on from work and log on as soon as possible, and now you're calling it the night. Yeah, it's the evening show, and we're gonna get some. And at least you're part of something. You met the show. It hasn't ended yet. Better late than never. But again, I appreciate you finding time to join. I know you've been busy, and I understand because bills don't pay themselves. Let me say it will be great if Ronaldo signs. Again, that's you. Good night, people. Let's hope this week after we can bring in two signings through the door before the US tour. The tour. I hope that happens. It says Havertz and Mason aren't wingers. They're not. Nope, they're not. Again, the most thing you can say off from there, they're number 8s or 10s, if you like. They both are played on the right wing. That's something I wouldn't want to talk about right now. Again, I think good night, good vibes. Thank you very much. Nice to see you here. Again, seeing you made me happy. Oh, yeah, we don't play with wingers. Are you a Chelsea fan, Tom? Yeah, good question. Tom, do you think I'm not a Chelsea supporter? When did you start going to the breach? Yep. Thank you very much to everybody who's found time to join us today. It's been a brilliant show, and I want to show you the handle of those on the panel. Go follow Louisa. Again, I don't know. Sorry, Louisa, I hope you forgive me. I have not been adding your information to the description session. I will write something and show it to you if you like it. Then I can go back and add them all. Apologies to you. Ty, go follow Ty Talks CFC. Make sure you check out his channel and please do subscribe and let him know I sent you. Follow Louisa, Sol_Daro. You will find it. And of course, I'll follow Chelsea Perspective. Again, with that, we've come to the end of the show. I hope to see you guys tomorrow for all the Blue Morning Show. And then later in the day, it might be Louisa alone and you guys, and I know she'll do a good job. And I want to say thank you to True Blue for the great contributions. Thank you to Lee for finding time to join, even though he just got home. Thank you to Tom. Thank you to my sister, Miss Alano. Appreciate it. Seeing you gave me a lot of joy. And again, thank you to Lucilla. Thank you to Jasviola, the queen of the house, who was here. Mikhail, every other person. If I missed your name, apologies to you. I'm only human. And with that, we'll come to the end of the show. See you guys in the morning tomorrow for the Blue Morning Show, and the evening for the Chelsea Transfer Watch Show. Thanks, and God bless us all, and bye.